Hey, it's Andrew Huang. So some of you may remember a little while ago I put up a video where me and Boy in a Band and Rumi and Rob Scallon all tried to make music without being able to hear what we were doing.
That was so bad!
This is an idea I want to revisit from time to time, number one because it's fun, but number two because there are so many different ways to approach making music, and I think all of them would be interesting to explore with this added layer of challenging yourself with not being able to hear what you're doing. There are also a couple other interesting music experiments that I've done in the last little while that I'm gonna include after in this video just because I feel like they're all part of the same family of weird music content. Also, it's giveaway season. If you're not aware, every April to celebrate my birthday, I try to make the world a little bit more of a musical place. I contact some of my favorite music equipment companies and see if they'd be willing to give you some free gear. So a bunch of the stuff I'm using today will be in the giveaway, and there are gonna be more details about that at the end of the video. But let's move on to our first experiment, making music without hearing it, and this was actually suggested by a few of you. Today we're gonna work with the modular synthesizer and create a patch without being able to hear it. Let's go. This is Andrew from the future. I'm having a real weird time with this edit. I just don't know that there is any way for me to condense this 17 minutes of patching I did down to anything entertaining. It's just like all full of synth jargon, and clearly there was no music actually audible in it. So maybe I'll upload the whole thing unlisted. I'll put that in the description if I do, but I thought I would just right now debrief what went well, what went horribly, horribly wrong, and why don't we just skip ahead and play you the final piece. This is the moment of truth when I first played back what I had created. It's coming through on this audio recorder. Oh wait, I should hit record. And let's turn the speaker on.
Battery 100%.
Oh my gosh. This is so bad. Where did this go wrong? So many places. So I actually, in theory, had something pretty good going, but there were just a few key mistakes that I made that totally derailed the whole patch. I had Pamela's new workout sequencing the mutant drums, doing the exact beat that I wanted. That was all good. Orgasmatron was self-oscillating so I could use it as a synth voice, and I had Variegate making it play this like minor key thing. I wanted to do something kind of unpredictable, so I started triggering random samples that I had loaded up in this stereo-triggered sampler. I thought that I had only drum samples on that card, but I guess it was also just full of... So that was one big mistake. Now the reason why everything really fell apart was because I wasn't able to mix properly. The synth line is so low that you can't even hear it in there. With the snare drum, I totally forgot about one key parameter so that instead of sounding like this, it sounded like this. And it was that quiet too, it's pretty much imperceptible in the mix. And with the hi-hats, I totally messed up. I didn't even plug the right output from the module to the mixer, so they're not in there at all. Basically, we have my kick drum coming through, and then just the barrage of random samples. Let's hear that one more time. So I had to go back and fix that, took the random samples out, changed the snare drum sound, and brought everything to where it should be in the mix. This is what I would like to have patched. Right here, I'm using my system to generate random chord progressions, and I don't want them to be completely random. I want the chords to be related to each other, and what's really good for that is this module called Chord. It's really fantastic, lets you set the quality of the chord, the inversion, the voicing, and then I think my favorite thing is being able to sweep through these different waveforms. It just sounds gorgeous. And right now I have it in harmonize mode, meaning that it'll change the quality of the chords, so major or minor or what kind of seventh is in it, based on the voltage that I send it. We're gonna use these 4 sliders on Variegate to send random notes to chord, and it will interpret them into progressions, and I guess we'll just stop when we find one we like. So I've got a progression that I like now, and I don't know if you noticed, but this is a much more involved patch than just the 2 modules we were making chords with. I was actually patching up a beat here before I started working on this random chord progression idea, so let me play them for you together. I also now have the chord firing off with the same trigger I'm using for the kick drum, so they're always nice and in sync. The chord progression we're working with is C sharp minor 7, C major 7, G major 7, and F sharp 7, which is not something I would really have come up with on my own. So thanks, Modular. I'm gonna do a 3-module challenge, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna see what we can come up with using just 3 modules. Greg from the channel White Noises is going to be doing the same challenge with the same modules. So I'm really interested to see how our approaches might differ. So of course we both had to own the 3 modules that we were gonna do this challenge with. So the ones we picked are fairly popular. We've got maths for producing and processing control voltages, Basimulis Iteritas Alter, which is an awesome oscillator that is mostly suited for drum sounds, but it can do a lot of other stuff as well. And we've got Clouds, which is like a granular delay reverb effect. I've got the left and right output of the Clouds already going to our recorder. Gonna put Basimulis through it. We're getting sound into Clouds. Let's just use some pretty vanilla settings. So that's a quick taste of what Clouds does. It creates these little chunks of the incoming audio that it repeats at different amounts and puts reverb on, and you can pitch shift them. I'm gonna use maths to do the triggering of BIA. So let's get it cycling, and I'm using the end of cycle trigger. This is really fast, but it's kind of cool. Actually, let's slow it down. I'll show you a few of the sounds Basimulis is capable of. Pretty awesome little oscillator there. Let's get something tonal out of Basimulis. That's cool. Kind of got a minor chord out of it because you've got these harmonic and spread controls. It's got 6 oscillators, I believe, in it, so it spreads out the pitches of those oscillators, which is a cool thing to thicken up a sound. And typically, you make drums with Basimulis, but I guess you can make a chord as well. So what I'm gonna do actually is freeze that in Clouds. Let's put a ton of spacey reverb on that. And I'm just increasing the grain size. Let's play with the pitch. Oh, by the way, we're still hearing Basimulis. So this is just what's stored in Cloud's freeze buffer. Okay, this is cool. So now I've got a plan. We're gonna use this kind of harmonic backdrop from Clouds, and I'm gonna use maths to get Basimulis to produce a beat. So let's get that going again. We don't need this sound anymore, as long as I keep freeze on. I'm gonna use the liquid mode, which adds a pitch envelope, making it more like a drum sound. And one cool thing about Basimulis is that as you turn the attack knob down, it actually increases the attack until 12 o'clock, where it starts to introduce a noise sound. And so that's how you can go between a kick drum and a snare drum. Let's patch something up that goes between a kick and a snare. I'll get the other channel of maths cycling. We'll patch this to the attack and dial this in. Let's play with the rhythm. What if we speed it up? That's cool. Now I want something that's going to modulate this decay time. I mean, I'm really limited with what CV I can produce because we've only got these maths channels, so I'm gonna just try and get a lot of different parameters moving with what we have here. We could do a little self-patching and see if that gives us some weird rhythms. So I'm pretty happy with this. Let's cut to what Greg ended up with, and I'll link his full video in the description as well. All right, so let's talk giveaway. All the winners are gonna be announced on my Instagram on May 1st, so make sure to follow me there. Universal Audio is gonna be giving away 4 audio interfaces. 2 of the one that I use, the Apollo Twin, and 2 of their new Arrow. And the keyboard I use, which is Native Instruments 61 Key Complete Control, is also up for grabs, and they're gonna include their full suite of software instruments. Yay! And I've decided to make a second separate giveaway for modular gear since that's kind of its own niche. Endorphins is contributing 2 of their autopilot modules for instantly tuning 2 oscillators together. From ALM Busy Circuits, we've got Pamela's new workout in the mix, a really fantastic module that packs a ton of features into a tiny amount of space while still being really easy to use. And finally from IntelliGel, we've got a Morgasmatron, which is a beast of a filter. It's actually 2 analog filters that can work together in a lot of ways, and because they both self-oscillate, it's actually also kind of 2 oscillators, and they are pitch controllable, as you heard earlier in the video. So that is what is included in this year's birthday giveaway, and it's really easy to enter. Just follow the links in the description. And remember to follow me on Instagram @AndrewsMusic, where the winners will be announced on May 1st. Good luck. I'll see you next time.